Hello everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup. We're playing this purple draconian fire elementalist of Olivalon on comborobin. So since the last episode, my home server has come back to life, and I could go play under a Malloy, but I'm in the middle of this game, and like I said earlier, I would like to do as much of this game myself as I can. Just I wouldn't mind abandoning it personally, but I figure you guys probably, as I said, want to see some sort of conclusion. Where is that line of fire? Gimme. I don't know. I'm not training evocations yet, and who knows if I ever will, but probably I will some. Purple Draconians get a bonus to that, right? So we're at +1. Evo, yeah. So most Draconians are not. All right. Yeah, and they do. They have a nice HP aptitude and a good fighting aptitude, which I mentioned earlier but didn't double check. It turns out it was correct. So Draconians tend to have a lot of HP. We're just going to kite and burn these blink frogs like we were doing before. And, we could be using Fireball more, but it's so loud and it's not MP efficient. The main thing, there are like two main reasons to use Fireball. One is that it hits a group, and that's sort of the obvious one. But the one that I think is actually important more often is that it never misses. It hits an area, and everything in that area is always hit by it. So you can use it for, to deal that last bit of damage to a particularly troublesome foe or something. Why am I not getting any like corpses out of these guys? Sticky Flame doesn't like destroy corpses, does it? That would be pretty sad, because I'm getting hungry and I would like to eat this. There's so many yaks. All right, I'm gonna back off here. All right, got one. Now we can just rest up, and these yaks should be no problem. Ooh, especially if we step into here. I don't know, I guess we can't do any Conjure Flame shenanigans this way, but this is fine. And we can't kite either, but I mean, it means this is actually like, this is a pretty bad plan. I mean, we had plenty of HP, so like it was safe, but it was much less. It's not like the kill hold made me less safe, not more safe, because I was relying on kiting more than I really noticed that I was, and that took away my ability to kite at all. That's right, I learned Confuse. So let's just let these yaks all walk on the fire and kill themselves that way. Yeah, so we've got like a bunch of flaming frogs. Yikes. They're kind of doing damage to me, though. And so that's why we're still training fighting and dodging, because we want that to stop happening. We want to no longer be receiving damage from enemies if possible. And, we're low on HP here, but it's, I don't know. I think a particularly careful player would, somebody posted on the forums a long time ago, like a guide to surviving crawl play, right? And it's like remarkably careful, and I think it's a very good guide. It tells you, just a lot of general rules, like for how to play carefully. Things like if you are at half HP ever, like you are in an emergency situation and you should react appropriately. And I don't know. I think that that's better than the way that I play, like in terms of win rate. If you played like that all the time, you would win more than I do. But I think I play reasonably carefully, and I'm perfectly content to let my HP get fairly low if I can see that the derivative, you know, if we plot out like how combat's going to go over time, if the enemy is going to die well before I do, and there's not like any spikes in damage that are coming in, I don't mind taking a beating. And I think that the reason that's... Oh, I almost missed my chance. Oh, god dang it. I tried to cast the wrong spell because I forgot I had moved Conjure Flame. I was trying to set up a little elephant trap, and it didn't work. So, wow, one-shot him with Sticky Flame, though. What was I saying? Something about being willing to take some damage, right? I think I'm comfortable taking some damage if I can see that the fight's not going to go badly, but I also can concede that, like, I'm not a perfect predictor of how the fight is going to go, and sometimes I'll think that the fight is going to go fine, but it doesn't. So, like, every so often, my laziness there, like, probably leads me to die, where someone who was playing as carefully as that post suggested would have gotten away. I'm willing to accept that. I don't mind. Like, I play for win rate mostly, but I'm not willing to play that carefully. I think I play more carefully than the average Joe, and I'm comfortable with how aggressive I am. I mean, God knows how long would these videos be if I played even more slowly, right? Nobody would watch. Oh, let's hit him with a fireball. There's so many of them. Yeah, value. All right, that was kind of silly. Okay, I'm a little bit stuck here, and I would like to not be... Okay, yeah. Let's be down here at least, right? See, like here, this, like, is this an emergency? No. The Yak is about to die. I don't even need to, like... If I were a melee fighter, maybe it could be a problem, because I could just miss him a bunch of times, and he could hit me a bunch of times. But he's on fire. Like, he's guaranteed to be taking damage, and Sticky Flame never misses. So it's just like, the fight is about to end. It's fine that I'm taking damage. Taking substantial amounts of damage. Fire Drake's resistant to fire, huh? I really could use some other way of doing damage. Well, I guess I have my breath weapon. How about Confuse? Pretty reasonable. I actually could train some hexes for that. There we go. And then we can just tab him. I mean, it's not a very powerful Confuse, but it gets the job done. That's a lot of Scrolls of Enchant weapon, actually. All right, what kind of weapons might we want to use here? So I remember there was a Dire Flail somewhere. There's a Battle Axe if we wanted to go axes. I don't know about that. Yeah, there's the Dire Flail. There's a Spectral Weapon spell. Another Dire Flail, okay. Mace. Yeah, there's all this garbage on Dungeon 1. Halberd's decent. And then we have the Scimitar we're wielding. So for one-handers, we could go... Well, Morningstar is reasonable, too. I think it's about as good as a scimitar. So I think we could go long blades or we could go maces, basically, if we wanted to start training weapons now. I mean, I'm kind of a fan of long blades in general. And we have a good long blade already. Not one that I want to put any more enchant weapon into. +3 already is fine. Alternatively, I could just keep using fire to kill everything. But we've run into some threats where that's a problem, right? The fire drake, ghosts. I guess I could also pacify the fire drake. I didn't have to fight him necessarily. This is sort of the strategic part of Crawl, right? There's a balance of strategy and tactics. The tactics is making sure you live through each combat as often as possible. The strategy is like plotting out your character's arc, where you're gonna, when you make big changes in what you're doing. And I think we can at least stop training fighting for now and get long blades instead, because we are hitting things relatively often. Oops, I didn't mean to turn everything else off. Even though I clearly hit the button for doing that. It's not what I intended to do. And I'll leave dodging on, I suppose. What is, like... How does the EV formula work? Draconian with 10 strength, 11 dex, 0 armor. I have no idea how to calculate all this. Forget it. Okay. So whatever. I don't think like 10 is a breakpoint really for dodging. It might be, but I don't know. I think I'll just do this. Long blades and hexes. And we're now like a little bit committed to long blades, but like not a lot. And we're almost to layer 8, which is, of course, where things are going to get a little bit more dicey. Hello, Black Mamba. Let's try to get, like, here looks good. Yeah, now we've only got one of them at a time. So we're just going to have to be a little bit more careful in layer. How are my spell hunger? Okay, so it's still 2 pips for Sticky Flame. Not relevant really at all. I don't know why the lower level pips of hunger even really exist. They're basically ignorable. Alright, fireball. Cool. I don't know, maybe I should have just eaten something. Here, have some pizza. Another fireball. Miscast? What? That's lame. And Sticky Flame is still like, cast Sticky Flame, please. It's still pulling a lot of weight. You know, I don't know. This combat was handled quite poorly, I have to say, and some of that is because I knew I didn't have to handle it well. Like I have enough stats and skill. The character is just powerful enough that for a few yaks and rats, I didn't have to be careful. but that's not necessarily an excuse for playing it quite so atrociously. Oh, hello, Fire Drake. I would really like to confuse you. Thank you. And there's a new book here, which I'm excited to look at if I can ever nail down this stupid Fire Drake. Ooh. I mean, I like the spells in this book. Yeah, I do. I'm not going to cast any of them right now, obviously, but it's good to have. Translocation spells are some of my favorite. I don't know if they're necessarily the strongest. Do you need help, Mr. River Rat? Here. Just because being able to get to move things, like, that's so good. You know, I talk about this often on the channel when translocation spells come up, but just like being able to take a thing that's in one place and make it be in another place, whether that thing is you or an item or a monster, like, that's always good. And that's what translocations are all about. You know, being able to do damage to a monster, yeah, that's always good too, but it's not as good necessarily in some scenarios as you might think, because of, you know, scenarios where your goal is not to kill a bunch of stuff, but, you know, this game is all about getting runes and getting the orb, and killing monsters is incidental to do that, except insofar as it's the only way to get experience. Ooh. So if you, oh man, these guys hurt. So in a lot of places, when you're like trying to get that, you know, last step to getting the orb or whatever, or a rune, the ability to move stuff around is way more useful than the ability to kill things. And that doesn't happen for a lot of spell schools. Like, you know, charms, I guess it is one where that's the case. Ooh. Well, I should keep it in case I want cold resistance for some reason. You know, the ability to protect yourself, which is basically what charms does. Like, that can be better than killing things sometimes, but honestly, translocations does a pretty good job of that too. And like, what other spell schools are there? You know, summonings, necromancy, you know, these are all not really about killing things and not really about, I don't know. The point is, translocations are cool. So there you go. Here we are, done with layer 7. And we are ready to head down to layer 8. Divine Vigor is a live-on ability that I don't use that much. It costs so much hunger. It's like all of her stuff is ridiculous. But it gives you extra HP and MP above your maximum, basically. Or it increases your maximum and scales your current proportionally. So if you have like 50% HP and you use it, you have a higher max HP and you still have 50% of it. So it also sort of heals you in that way. But it scales with your invocation skill such that when you have maxed out invocation skill, it gives you plus 50% HP and MP. And at 0%, at 0 invo, I think it does like nothing. So, And for the rest, it's just interpolated linearly. There's a lot of rats. So that's a good ability, obviously. And one that I should get the hang of using more. What's all these stupid river rats? Right now, we don't have enough invocations to make it either reliable or terribly good. But, you know, if we saw a unique that we wanted to fight and we got the jump on him enough that we could spare some turns, that is an ability that I would happily use. Because it'll improve our success chances and basically just costs piety, which is sort of free. Okay, Livelon, I could use some purification, please. Thank you. Yay, food. So purification, one thing I'm not sure about, actually, is whether potions of curing always restore all of your... cure 100% of your poison. I used to think the answer was, well, obviously, yes. But there's a spell in poison magic called Cure Poison. And it's like a level 2 spell, and it removes the poison you have. But it actually has a spell power component, and at low spell power, it can't remove all poison. Like it restores quite a bit, but it you know, if you are badly poisoned and you don't have much spell power on this, then you won't get your poison down to 0. You'll still be poisoned, and you can just cast it again, and it cures more poison. It's like, I'm not saying it's a bad spell. If you're investing in poison magic, it's like almost certainly going to cure your whole poison thing. But if you just like, oh, I have some spell casting, so I'll pick up Cure Poison for, you know, while I'm here, it very well might not cure all your poison because you'll have such a low spell power. Anyway, and so realizing that made me wonder, like, what about the other things that cure poison? Do they have, like, a limit, or do they remove all of it? And I bet that a potion of curing actually does remove all of it, but I don't know that. I do know that a Livelon, you know, as a divine favor, will remove all of it. Jeez, this poison. Like, we have 66 points of poison damage from that one Black Mamba. This is why resist poison is useful. But we can just ask a Livelon, you know, hey, could you give me a favor? I need all my poison gone, and then it's all gone. And that's just much more piety effective than healing through it, right? I mean, that's the other thing I could do. You could just ask for healing over and over to get you through those 60. But it's obviously way more efficient. Like, I don't need to explain to you guys. It's more efficient to prevent the 60 points of damage than it is to heal it. What was I doing against Fire Drakes? I forgot already. Confuse, that's right. Got him. He got away. And now there's a Black Mamba I have to deal with. Well, that's life, I guess. We're just gonna run away while he burns to death. And see if I get... Oh, how poisoned? No big deal. See if we can find the Fire Drake. He's still confused. Our spell power is really making a difference. So remember the first time we confused somebody and it like didn't do anything? He was confused. And it was a Fire Drake too. He was confused for like 6 turns or something ridiculous like that. Something awful. So much stuff on Lair 8. And I haven't seen like an end vault yet. Maybe this is the forest out here? I don't know. If so, I haven't seen the monsters from the forest. Oh, as a fire elementalist, I could burn the whole forest down pretty easily. That would be fun, although not necessarily effective. There's a lot of blink frogs still. So, and Fireball and Sticky Flame both never miss, which is like, which makes fire elementalists great against blink frogs. And I've mentioned both of these things previously, but never like, I don't think I've said, hey, both of these spells never miss. Isn't that nice? And like, spoiler alert, yeah, it's real nice. All right, they're both on fire. There they go. There's no like poison resistance around, is there? No. Okay. What about books? I remember there's a bookstore too in a different game, not this one, so that's not gonna help. Okay, great, good to know. As I mentioned, I have another game going on my main account, and I'm just playing comborobin because the CAO, the server I play on, was down for several hours last night. And I'm over here, man. And I just wanted to do something else. Wanted to play Crawl, got out my recording gear, and it was like, I say got out my recording gear, right? Like I put on my headset and opened up my recording software. But, and then I was like, oh, I can't play. So I got onto comborobin. And so that's why I thought there was a bookshop. I was thinking of the other game I'm in the middle of at the moment, which, if you're watching this, you may have already watched the entirety of that other game, even though I haven't finished it. I sort of imagine people watch these playlists one playlist at a time, but I don't actually know. Certainly there are probably some people who watch it live, in which case, like, a lot of elephants here. If you're watching it live, then, you know, I will probably have uploaded some of these before finishing that other game. Hey! I was gonna put a Conjure Flame in that spot. I guess I should have done that first, huh? Before I stepped in here. Is this a ring? I didn't... Oh, loudness, okay. What do I do with a bunch of elephants who are adjacent to me? Just Sticky Flame, I guess? I was hoping to use Conjure Flame, but oh well. Yeah, I don't have enough MP, really, to handle a ton of elephants. But maybe I can get a couple. Yeah, okay, just one, and then I'll take this escape hatch. That'll do. I would love some defensive spells like Azakuba's Armor. I always would love Azakuba's Armor, honestly. It's one of the strongest spells for spellcasters in general. Ooh. I took a little more damage from him than I would have liked. But that's what happens when you rely on... I heard a slurping noise. You dang jellies, stay away from my loot. Alright, I think my hexes are doing fine now. That should be enough. Was I saying something? I don't know. It's a mystery. Who knows? Hogs? Yeah, okay, here's Kirka, sure. Sort of a given when you see hogs. Okay, well, pork later is not that likely to work on us. Invisibility will be a pain, but at least we won't have to deal with the accuracy problems because we have Sticky Flame and Fireball as our main damage dealers. Can I hit her with a Fireball from here? I can. So let's Sticky Flame her. That's the main damage dealer we've got. And then, like, tab? So this is a spot where it's like we are in danger. I'm not at half HP yet, but we're in real danger if all these hogs close in, basically. It'll be hard to run away. And I'm low enough on MP. Oh, let's breathe on her. We actually hit her. And that knocked off her dispel or deflect missiles as well. That's nice. Alright, got her. Welcome back to being human, hogs. I don't think they fight enemies for me, like freed slaves do. No, they're just neutral. A Hydra, alright. I could try to fight it with Sticky Flame, but I'd rather not. So let's just, and I'm low on MP. So let's just pacify it. See you later, Hydra. Nice to meet you. And I don't have enough MP to deal with this stupid polar bear. I'm doing a really bad job of... there's got to be some way that I can get to a stair without the polar bear following me, but it looks like that's not what I have done. Oh, miscast Sticky Flame. Yikes. Alright, well that's news. Livelon, will you make this go away? Thank you. That's the go away ability is so good. Right, that's why we took a Livelon. Is if there's a monster you don't like, it just goes away. And it works best, of course, on animals, so that's why I didn't try to use it on Kirka. Plus, I figured we could kill Kirka. And normally we could... Ooh. Ooh. Normally we could kill a polar bear, but I was just low on fuel after finishing off Kirka and a Hydra. These are not pacifiable, right? Well, so first of all, it's asleep, so you can't do that. Yeah, it's mindless, so... on the other hand, it's mindless, and we have Conjure Flame. So on the one hand, this can do, like, a ton of damage. But on the other, I think we can handle it. So let's just try to set up a reasonable spot, like here, for a Conjure Flame. Human, don't step in this, please. I don't think it will. And then I'm going to put on my Ring of Ice while he stands in the fire. So just to give me, well, yeah, I'm losing some spell power. I should have cast Sticky Flame first, but I wanted to get cold resistance. Whatever. I'll cast it. Here we go. Yeah. Ow. Okay. So that hurts. Livelon, I could use some healing here. And now let's attack it. Got it. Whew. That Azure Jellies are tough customers. And he was only here, he was guarding the entrance to Slime, I presume. I don't know if we saw it yet, but that's what he was doing. Yeah, we haven't seen it, but I think that's the only reason there would be an Azure Slime in Lair. Azure Jelly, I should say. And fortunately, we had the toolkit to deal with it, rather than having to run away or whatever. Got us some nice, relatively low-risk experience. Although, I guess it did cost me some piety, which is, again, not a big deal. That's what your piety is for. When there's some situation that you can't handle safely and easily by yourself, you just get help from God. And as long as you're not playing like super aggressively or on a speed run or something, there'll be few enough such situations that you can easily afford to use your piety on all of them. Okay, so this looks like the Deep Troll Shaman End Vault. He's got like a bunch of... Or it could be the one with a bunch of Death Yaks and Catablepi. I'm not sure. I think it's the Deep Troll one, though. Yeah, okay. I wonder if I could put, like, Stops Burning on a Force More. Like, that's something that I fail to notice somewhat often, is that the enemy I'm fighting is no longer on fire, and I'm sort of expecting him to keep taking damage, but then he doesn't. Okay, got him. And I mean, it's dangerous if you think the guy's like, he's almost dead, so he's just gonna die next turn no matter what I do, because like you think he's on fire, and then he's not. You can make some dumb decisions in that context. I certainly have. Oh, no. It was... Oh, yeah, it is. It's this one, right? Now, this is weird. Maybe it is the one with the Catablepi and Death X. Yeah, okay. Huh. I didn't know there was, like, a human skeleton. Yeah, that actually might be one of the hogs that got freed and then killed by Catablepis, just by coincidence. It placed a human skeleton that made it look like the Deep Troll Vault. So let's put a Conjure Flame right here. That should help a lot. Man, these guys hit hard. And I'm going to have to back off soon when he breathes dust on me. He's still on fire. He's still in fire. Okay, good. Good. All right, let's back off. There's more stuff down there, but they don't know about us yet, so we have time to rest. And we can use this little corridor here to beat up the Death Yaks, hopefully. There's a lot of them, though. Wow. But we've discovered that, you know, this kill hole plus damage over time. Uh-oh. They broke through. They broke through, guys. Set this on fire, too? Oops, I cast Confuse there. What an idiot. All right, let's run away. Where is there a better kill hole, one that actually works? So this one has the same problem. It looks good, but they're going to kill the plant. Seems like there's got to be something in here, right? This is a good spot, except it's surrounded by plants. Like if one of these were cut down, then you could get in there. Here? I don't know what this space is the problem. It looks like it would be a tree, but it might not be. This looks good, right? Is there anything closer? These two squares. Oops. These two squares are pretty okay. Yeah, let's head down there. We could also pacify Death Yaks, but we don't really need to. We've got the secret tech for killing them. Perhaps not as effectively when we can't use the Conjure Flame trick. Yikes. Perhaps not at all. There's so many Death Yaks. All right. Well, we can back off again, I suppose. I guess I should have hit him with Liquid Flame first. I guess what I can do is I can Pillar Dance like this while they're on fire. And this way I don't have to stand still and just let him hit me. Yeah, of course now this one's gotten lost and caught up to me, sadly. Man, those guys attack like hard. All right, this should kill the Death Yak here. Right? No, not quite. Got him. Oh, I had a spare turn and I didn't use it to cast Conjure Flame. I'm just not really playing super well right now, I guess. And we got him? Got him, okay. So it's called Pillar Dancing because you can sort of imagine the tree that we're dancing around as a giant pillar, right? And like you dance around it in the same way that stair dancing is like running up and down stairs to deal with monsters, to deal with a problematic combat scenario. And pillar dancing is named for, you know, being indoors where like there actually are pillars. Here it's like it's a tree. It's not exactly a pillar, but it's basically, I mean, like it's the same thing. It's just an aesthetic difference. There's slime finally. Knew it was here somewhere, just didn't know where. All right, back to this end vault, I guess. Oh, maybe not. Let's kill an elephant first. Got him. All right, so I know there's more Death Yaks in here and more Yaks. I think we probably got all the Catablepi. I'm not sure though. Let's put another Conjure Flame here. I sort of imagine that he's gonna cast Confuse again. Did I do that the other time too? I did. No, he's engulfed in Roaring Flames. Yeah, okay. Ugh. What if I put confuse on like capital C? Would that be a good idea or a bad idea? I think it would be a bad idea. I don't see exactly how that would help me. And again, there's no real proper kill hole here. I could run up to this side, which seems like it would do okay. I know they can knock over the plant and get in, but this buys me a fair bit of time. Come on down, you Mr. Yak. The water's fine. Ugh, so many yaks in here. I don't know exactly, like, if this vault is supposed to mean something. Like, why a bunch of yaks and the cataplepus in a cave? I don't know. Is this like a yak cave? If it's a joke, I don't really get it, but that's not too uncommon. And sometimes it's just not a joke, it turns out. And really the Death Yak is the only threat left in here. The Death Yaks, I should say. The Cataplepi are also, but we haven't run into one for a while. I think we got them all. And the Yaks are just very easy to take out. Let's see. What if I step northeast? Then I can establish a hallway. It's so tempting to throw a fireball. Look at them. They're all asleep. So innocent. So peaceful. So clustered together. Doesn't that fireball just make you tingle? But I don't think it's the right thing to do. If I step northeast, you know, maybe I can hit him with a fireball anyway. But I don't think it should be my first action. Yeah, this is going to be fine. And we're spending, like, it's actually quite a bit of MP to do this, set a thing on fire, you know, conjure flame, and then multiple sticky flames. It's quite a bit of MP, even though we're only spending, like, 3 for the conjure flame and then 4 per enemy. Oh, there is another Cataplepus. I just realized a bad thing. This is a long, narrow corridor. And a Cataplepus can turn me to stone. So we're going to be stuck in this calcifying dust for a while. All right, Olivalon. Yeah, thanks. I could use some purification. Don't want to be petrified, thanks. All right, now we got this guy. He's on fire, he's in fire. We're hitting him with a scimitar of flaming. His whole world is fire. Okay. So that's kind of nice. Potions of curing don't cure petrification. A potion of cancellation would. Another staff of energy. But those are much more rare, and so you don't want to use them if you can help it. And Olivalon is just sort of freebies. Just fix it automatically, no problem. I mean, it's not free. It costs piety, it costs hunger. It's like everything Olivalon ever does for you, except, you know, save your life. But who cares about saving your life, right? But, you know, it's all of those things are basically free. You don't need the piety. Okay, well that was Lair. We're done with Lair. And I forgot all kinds of times to breathe. My breath weapon. It's much easier to remember the breath weapon as a melee, it seems to me, than as a spellcaster, in my experience. Because I'm already casting so many different spells that I forget that there's one that's not in my spell book, right? I don't see breathe, your breath weapon. Whereas as a fighter, it's just like tab and then occasionally breathe, tab, breathe, tab, breathe. Anyway, that's my musings on Draconians. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next.